the channel. It's T-Mo, win or lose. We're going to talk about week 3 predictions, previews of games, and I'm going to give you guys my predictions on all the games. Had a little struggle last week, but don't let that mess you up. It's still early in the season. We're trying to figure out how everything works, how good these teams are, how bad these teams are. So it's still a work in progress. Don't let my picks from last week mess you up. We're going to get it right this week. But before I get into my predictions, I'm going to like, subscribe, and follow the channel, share. I'm trying to get the YouTube page growing, so I need you guys' help with that. Anything you do, any little share, make a comment, anything's appreciated. I'm just trying to grow the channel, and I need you guys' help, and I really appreciate it. But with all that said, let's get into what we're here for. Week 3, NFL season. Week 3, I struggled last week, but we're going to get it right this week. We're going to start off with tonight's game. The New York Giants against the San Francisco 49ers. Giants come in 1-1, 49ers 2-0. And 49ers looked good last week against the Rams, but that divisional game, so they could be tricky. You know, they won, but it was a little closer than what we thought. Rams might be better than what we think. Giants had to come back and beat the Cardinals, who, you know, they coming off week 1, they got blown out by the Cowboys. So they bounced back by beating the Cardinals, but it was a struggle. They had to come back from like 20-0 down. But they got the victory. That's all that counts. Still early in the season. We don't know how good the Giants or bad the Giants are going to be right now, but it's still early. But I do like San Francisco in this game. I think they're the better team. I think they'll get after Daniel Jones. Giants are going to be without Saquon Barkley tonight, so the running game is going to be in trouble. Daniel, you know, he's going to have to throw the ball, you know, earn the money. He did good in the second half last week, but it was against the Cardinals, so I'm not going to look too much into that. Why were you down 20-0 to begin with to the Cardinals? So I'm going to go with the 49ers to win this game tonight. I think the 49ers will beat the New York Giants 38 to, I'm going to say 14. I think the 49ers will come in and move the ball. I think the Giants, like I said, they're kind of outmanned here. So for tonight's game, I'm going to go with the San Francisco 49ers to beat the New York Giants. And let's start off with some of Sunday's games. We'll start off first with the Indianapolis Colts against the Baltimore Ravens. Colts 1-1, Ravens 2-0. Lamar and them look like they got the groove last week in Cincinnati, getting a big road win in the division. They kind of struggled week 1 against Houston. I mean, they won the game, but it didn't look good. Last week it looked a little bit better, and Lamar starting to feel his groove, starting to get his weapons back. Even though OBJ went out last week, I think he should be okay to play this week. Colts got a victory last week against the Houston Texans, even though rookie Anthony Richardson had a concussion, so I think he might be good this week. But if not, it's going to be Gardner Minshew. I think Baltimore should win, but I think the Colts, it might be closer than what some of you are thinking. Baltimore should win, but I think the Colts will keep it close. I got the Ravens winning this game 24-17. All right, you got the Cleveland Browns and the Tennessee Titans. Titans 1-1, Browns 1-1. I feel like Cleveland gave away that Monday night game against the Steelers. Basically just handed them the game with the turnovers, and just Deshaun Watson looks like a shell of himself. Maybe it's rust. Maybe it's the beginning of the season. I'm still down because I know how special he was. You know, before, you know, last year when he games, and the year before when he took the whole season off. So maybe I'm still thinking of the person, you know, that person that may come out with that first good album, and he never makes nothing as good, and you just keep on sticking with him because you know how great that first one was. That's how I feel with Deshaun Watson. It's like, I know how good you can be. You playing bad right now, but I just feel like it's going to come. You're going to give it to us because we know you got it in you. I don't know. They're playing Tennessee Titans this week, who have been in 2 close games. They lost by 1 to New Orleans in week 1, and they bounced back and won an overtime game with the Chargers in week 2. We won by 3 in overtime against the Chargers. I think this game's going to go down to the wire, too. I think it's going to be a good defensive game. I think I'm going to go with Cleveland because they at home, but I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I got the Browns winning this game 17-14 over the Tennessee Titans. We're going to go with the Atlanta Falcons and the Detroit Lions. Detroit 1-1, Atlanta 2-0. Atlanta, I feel like, good, impressive home win against Green Bay. It hasn't been cute for Atlanta. It hasn't been pretty at all. They're a running team. You know, I don't know what they feel like they got in Ritter yet as a quarterback. He's just, you know, getting the job done. Nothing really impressive. I feel like he should kind of get the ball to receivers more. And Kyle Pitts has kind of been like a no and so far. So it's still kind of they still don't want to take the training wheels off of them. They really haven't had to. So I want to see how it would happen if Atlanta gets down 2 scores, 3 scores, and they really have to go away from their running game. Detroit lost a heartbreaker last week to Seattle in overtime. Got another home game. A lot of injuries with the Lions so far to start this season off with. I think David Montgomery's going to be out. Amon-Ra St. Brown might play, but they lost Gardner Johnson. I think he's out for a while. They say it might be season ending, but the Lions got a lot of injuries. But I think they can put enough points on the board at home, and I don't think Atlanta can keep up. So I'm going to go with the Lions to win this game 31-21 on their home field. I think the Lions go to 2-1 and take out the Falcons. You got the New Orleans and the Green Bay Packers. Packers gave that game away last week to Atlanta. You're up 12 in the fourth quarter. You're supposed to close that deal. You're supposed to close that deal. And that's a lot of people to blame for the Packers. They seem like they can't run the ball so far this year. Aaron Jones being out really hurt them. I don't know if he's going to play. They say he's practicing. He might play this week. But it's going against a stout Saints defense. This New Orleans, this is not your mom's and dad's Saints team with, Drew Brees and Sean Payton. This is a defensive team. They a good, solid defensive team. Offense struggling a little bit. Derek Carr still young. You just getting there, so it's kind of like he's trying to get comfortable with what he likes, what they like. Offense is struggling. Maybe they'll get a little bit more smoother once Alvin Kamara comes back. But they've been in 2 close games also. His offense does not look good to me. I think Green Bay has enough pieces and a decent enough defense to shut New Orleans down, but can score enough points to kind of hold off New Orleans too. I like the Packers to win this game 24-20. All right, you got the Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't know. Houston is early, and I kind of want to give them the benefit of the doubt. Houston, I know it's week 2. I don't want to say they're the worst team in the league right now, but it's just like I said, it's a work in progress. Got a new head coach, got a rookie quarterback. So they are competing, though. They are competing. They played Baltimore tough. They, got some, felt good about themselves. Made it a closer game than what it was against the Colts last week. So they are competing. They are playing hard. I just don't think they got the horses to keep up with Jacksonville. Jacksonville, I feel like they kind of let an opportunity slip away because they had the Chiefs on the ropes. They just couldn't finish in the red zone. You got to be able to finish in the red zone when you're playing the Chiefs. You can't kick field goals. I think Jacksonville will get back on track. I think Houston's the right remedy they need coming off that loss against Kansas City. So I think they'll get back on track and take care of the Houston Texans 34-20. You got the Denver Broncos and the Miami Dolphins. Broncos 0-2. The honeymoon is over with Sean Payton and right now. They need to win some games. Him and Russell Wilson, they're going down to Miami, who's 2-0, who's riding high, 2 road games. So the Dolphins finally get a home game. They got Denver, who's coming in, who had 2 home games and lost both of them. Dolphins win 2 road games. Broncos lose 2 home games. So they go down to Miami. I think Denver's season on the line right here. They go to 0-3, you can forget about it. So I think they will come down and will compete. And they going to give it a game. I don't know how good that's going to be because it seems like that second half, they just don't know what to do offensively. Now, first half, they come out, move the ball, get some first down, score some points. But second half, it just seems like they just, forget what they talked about in the locker room. I think you can't make those mistakes against the Miami Dolphins. And the defense isn't as good as it was now that Sean Payton is taking over. I know he's an offensive guy, but you still have some of the same pieces from last year. Broncos looked at bad that last game in the fourth quarter against the Commanders. They just completely fell apart. I don't think they can make those mistakes against the Dolphins. I think they will compete, but I don't think it's going to be a good enough. I like the Dolphins to win this game 31-24. You got the Los Angeles Chargers against the Minnesota Vikings. Both teams 0-2. Both teams have been a disappointment. But I think it's going to be a shootout. I feel like both of these teams are teams that's just like they just find a way to lose games, whether it's turnovers and penalties by Minnesota, whether it's bad coaching and bad play calling by the Chargers. Neither one of these teams seem like they can make a defensive stop when they need it. Hey, we need a stop right here. Minnesota couldn't do it last week against Philadelphia. Chargers couldn't do it last week against Tennessee. So somebody's got to win this game. I think this game's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be the highest scoring game of the week. I like the Chargers to win this game 38-34. Anybody you got fantasy on either one of these teams, get them in there. It's going to be a shootout in Minnesota. You got the New England Patriots and the New York Jets. Patriots come in 0-2, Jets 1-1. Patriots have been competitive. They lost both games at home. They have been competitive. They're playing hard. Jets without Aaron Rodgers. You got to go back to Zach Wilson. It's just not looking good right now. I'm kind of worried about the Jets. And I was rooting for the Jets coming in. See, like I said, you watch them Hard Knocks, you start liking that team. You just get to know them, their family, how they doing off the field. You start to kind of like those teams. So I was actually rooting for the Jets. But without Aaron Rodgers, this is going to be a struggle. This is going to be a low-scoring game. Both defense will come out and play. I think New England will do a little bit more to win this game, though. I just think they have a better team, better players on offense. I trust Mac Jones more than I do Zach Wilson to not make a mistake. So I'm going to go with the Patriots to win 16-10. You got the Buffalo Bills and you got the Washington Commanders. Commanders 2-0. I know it's against Arizona and Denver, and they barely won both of those. But hey, they'll make. You got to take it. Now here's the test. Coming in Buffalo, who's 1-1, got back on track last week against Las Vegas, and it looked like the team we like. That looked like the Bills team that we should get every week. Josh Allen, stay away from the turnovers, make good decisions, and run the ball. Run the ball, Buffalo. Not Allen running the damn ball. Give the ball to the running backs and let the running backs run the ball. Bills continue to do that. I don't think they should have a problem with the Commanders. Commanders do look better offensively, but I don't know. The competition really hasn't been up to par right now. This is the challenge. I like Buffalo to win this game 31-20. You got the Carolina Panthers and the Seattle Seahawks. Oh man, I feel kind of bad for Bryce Young. I just don't feel like he has the pieces around it. It's still a young team, but they trade their first round pick for next year to move up and get Bryce. So they only have a first round. They can't even, get a first round pick for next year because they already gave it to Chicago. I like the way they're competing, but I just don't think the talent is there offensively. Bad O-line, minimum running game, average receivers. You go to Seattle, who sometimes I feel like plays down to their competition. I feel like sometimes Seattle plays down to their competition. So I think this game will be a little bit closer than what people think. Geno is prone to interceptions, and, Carolina does have a good defense. I like Seattle to win this game, but like I said, I feel like the Seahawks play down to their competition. So I think this game will be closer than what it should be. I like Seattle to win this game, but a close one, 23-20. You got the Dallas Cowboys and the Arizona Cardinals. Boy, the Cowboys, they got to break these first three games of the season. You got the Giants, you got the Jets, now the Cardinals. I like Dallas to win this game, and I like their defense to shine against Josh Dobbs, who played well last week against the Giants before they disappeared and forgot how to play football in the second half and giving that game away. I think Dallas's defense, they can just play how they've played the first two games. Defense, get some turnovers, get the points. Offense, don't mess nothing up. Run the ball. Dak, take what they give you. And I think this should be an easy game for Dallas. I don't think Arizona has nearly enough to move the ball on this Cowboy defense. I don't see how Arizona will score unless it is, a turnover from Dak setting them up in good field goal range. I think Arizona will get blown out. I think the Cowboys will win this game relatively easy. I'm going to go with the Cowboys 27, and I'm going to go with the Cardinals 7. All right, you got the Chicago Bears and the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, man. Bears, it's week 2, and it's already like, man, what's going on? I mean, I'm putting you guys in that same boat with Houston, Arizona, and Chicago. Is it week 2 and we already picked out who the bad teams are? But I feel like the Bears have potential on offense. It's just, is the play? I don't know what's going on with Chicago. I mean, is it Fields not being the guy? Is the play calling? I don't know, I don't know where to go with this. I just feel like I want Fields to do well. I just don't. I'm not gonna give up on them yet. I'm not gonna give up on them yet. It is Chicago. They have, have they ever like made a good quarterback? So it's like you are with the Bears. So it's still early in his career. I don't want to say he might be better off somewhere else, but we've never seen the Bears kind of like mold a quarterback in our head. Since I've been alive, I haven't known the Bears to have a great quarterback. So it's like, I don't know. It's just I don't know what to say about this. But they playing the Chiefs. This is what the Chiefs need. I mean, they've been struggling offensively. They got the Bears who come in who seem like they can't do nothing right. I like the Chiefs to. This would be their get right game where the offense gets right. The defense has already been playing well enough, so they're going to continue to get some turnovers from Fields, and I think they should get this game over with quickly. I like the Chiefs to win this game, 38-21. Bears get a couple of garbage touchdowns at the end once the game's over with. You know how that shit goes. Sunday night game, we got Pittsburgh and the Oakland Raiders. Sorry again. Las Vegas Raiders. Pittsburgh stole one last week, I feel like, against the Browns. Raiders got blown out in Buffalo. So two teams coming in 1-1. I think it's going to be a good game. Two average teams, I think. I think both of these teams are average, but it's only week 2. I think it's going to be a good game. You got Jimmy Garoppolo, who's not playing great, but not playing, good either. Kind of like how he's been his whole career. Kind of like he's okay. Don't turn the ball over. Don't make no mistakes. Hopefully we keep the game close so you ain't got to throw it, 30 times. You got Pittsburgh, who Pickett. I mean, he hasn't done nothing to impress me. He has the weapons. They're trying to make the offensive coordinator the scapegoat. I don't know what's going on with Pittsburgh. The offense does kind of look shaky. Najee Harris doesn't look like himself. The O-line, Pickett. I mean, there was a lot of talk about this team coming in the preseason. But I think the defense will win this game for them. They play well. They're going to create turnovers. They give up yards, but they're going to create turnovers. I think they create just enough turnovers to beat the Raiders. I got the Steelers winning 24-21. We got 2 Monday night games. Let's get through these real quickly. We got Philadelphia Eagles, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers 2-0, Eagles 2-0. One we're not surprised with, one we are surprised with. Baker Mayfield's been playing good. They still have a solid defense in Tampa Bay. And they still have some of that talent from that Super Bowl team that won it, 3 years ago with Brady. So I don't want to, say I'm totally surprised. They did get a couple of Minnesota and Chicago on the schedule. So this would be the real challenge for them. And the Eagles, they've kind of been just skating by, and I kind of want to see a dominant game for them. We haven't seen that yet, but they are 2-0. I think they just have a little bit from more than Tampa Bay, but I think Tampa Bay will keep it close. The Eagles have a lot of injuries in the secondary, so Baker should be able, if he gets the time, should be able to take advantage of that. But I do like the Eagles winning this game 28-20. And you got the Los Angeles Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals. That'd be the 8:15 game on ABC. We don't know what the status is on Joe Burrow. He hasn't looked like himself. I don't know what the status is, but I know they need to win this game. They 0-2, and if they have any chance of making the playoffs, especially in that division, they got to beat the Rams. Rams are a little bit better than what we thought. They played San Francisco tight last week. They went in Seattle week 1 and blew them out. So I think they are a little bit better, but I think Cincinnati's defense can hold them and kind of turn this into a defensive game, and maybe the backup can come in and make some plays. You still got weapons with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, and you got Joe Mixon. So I still think they got enough pieces. Without Burrow, I still like the Bengals to find a way because they need to. They'll be the more desperate team. I think they'll win this game 20-17. That's my predictions for week 3. I'm sticking with them. Tell me what you guys think. Like, subscribe, comment, support the channel. This is T-Mo with Win or Lose.